Party with Squirrel Trench Audio, and I am explaining some of the fun tips and techniques, some audio tricks that I used to create the Beatles remix, which I call Somehow Someway. In the previous video segment, I showed you just a few of the things that I did to the Got to Get You Into My Life part of the song. I also realized I forgot to give the story that my girlfriend came up with that is the foundation of this song, which is the basis of her dance routine that she's created for her students. So the storyline starts with Got to Get You Into My Life. It's the story of boy meets girl. And from there, it goes into Baby, You Can Drive My Car. After that, so things are looking pretty good for the guy and the gal at that point. But then the song goes into Can't Buy Me Love because the girl doesn't want to think that the guy can just buy her love by letting her drive his car. So our boy in this story becomes very distraught at the potential loss of his girlfriend, and so from there the music transitions to Help, and the Help section of the song is to me one of the most interesting musically from this, and so I'll explain that in a different part of this video series. And then from Help, so of course, any a good love story, you can either end it with a disaster, or you can end it where everybody walks off into the sunset happy. And my girlfriend wanted to go with the happy ending, so after trying to figure out what is the most logical song to then end this dance routine with, we decided that I Want to Hold Your Hand is what makes the most sense. And then you have a little bit of All You Need Is Love at the very end, just to make sure we've got that sunset picture going on here. And we want the audience to walk away from this dance routine feeling very good about themselves. All right, so with that foundation for the overall piece, I'll just dive into a few of the audio things that I thought were a lot of fun to remix the Beatles into as new and fresh a way as I could, with the limitation that I'm working only with regular Beatles source material that anyone can buy on iTunes or on a CD. I was cruising through the Beatles anthology for a lot of this really fun source material of stuff that the Beatles recorded, which is fun to listen to, once or twice. Most of the stuff in there is not, the reason why it's there and was never released to the public is because those takes aren't as good as what the Beatles put on their records. But nevertheless, there are some really fun little pieces in there, and one of the pieces I used at the beginning was the intro to a take of 8 Days a Week where the Beatles messed up in the middle of the take, and so they just stopped. But nevertheless, this got onto the anthology. It was put onto the anthology, and I thought the beginning is really cute. And how cute would it be to start our Beatles piece with this little routine here? So this is just the Beatles being pretty hilarious at the start of a song, like they had a tendency to do.
You're daft, Kev. I was one of the four of them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that by itself, no big deal. It's they're just sort of bickering at each other as they had a tendency to do, but so I took that. I thought, okay, that's a really cute piece. What if I had that count off go right into the first song of our Beatles medley? So I lined up the timing with Got to Get You Into My Life, And here's how those two pieces sound together.
You're daft, Gaff. I was one of the four of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was alone, I took a ride, I didn't know what I would find there.
So that's a lot of fun, but I thought to myself, well, what else could we use in the intro? While I was working on this piece, the intro was just that, and it's like, that's good, I like it. But then in cruising through the Beatles catalog and trying to think about other ways I could get really creative with this piece, I thought to myself, well, of course, one of the most famous intros in all of recorded history, never mind the Beatles catalog, is the opening to Sgt. Pepper's. So I took just a little bit of that intro where the orchestra is tuning up at the beginning of Sgt. Pepper's, which is something the Beatles themselves took from when the orchestra was tuning up for A Day in the Life on that album. It wasn't, that wasn't originally going to be at the beginning of Sgt. Pepper's, but they too thought that, one of the most amazing sounds you can hear is the sound of a big orchestra getting tuned up. So I'll play just that snippet. So you hear you hear basically a lot of people kind of talking, and you can hear a little bit of a violin here or there playing their notes. You might be, if you're not familiar with what an audio editor looks like, you might be wondering what these yellow lines are, and that's actually volume automation. So that's where I've increased or decreased the volume of the track. So let's hear so let's hear that full intro where the orchestra starts tuning up. The Beatles start bickering to themselves. There's a count off, and we go into Got to Get You Into My Life.
You're daft, Gaff. I was one of the four. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was alone, I took a ride, I didn't know what I would find there. Another road where maybe I could see another kind of mind.
So that's the intro to Somehow Someway. I will wrap up this segment at this point. And if you want to hear more about what I've done with this song, how I created some of the pieces, especially the help section, which actually morphs into Glass Onion from the Beatles Love soundtrack. Plus a whole lot of other little surprises in there. I will discuss that on the next segment. So thanks for watching.